Hey folks, it's Josh, Stony Ridge Farmer. Welcome to the farm vlog. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the John Deere Gator. The John Deere Gator 825i to be specific. So if you're new to the farm vlog, welcome. Thank you for coming. Doing reviews like this oftentimes brings new subscribers to my channel. I wanted to talk to you about this Gator. I've owned it for 3 years now. We just made our final payment. It was that 0% interest deal for 3 years. Let's just say it was a fairly expensive payment, and it's good to have that behind me now. I'll walk you around the Gator. I'll talk to you a little bit about the things that I'm disappointed in and the things that I like. So come on along today and we'll talk a little bit about this John Deere Gator 825i. After 3 years of ownership here, I'm pretty happy with it. Come on along, we'll talk a bit, all right? Stoney Ridge, farm Stoney Ridge, Stoney Ridge Farm. So if you watch my first review of this John Deere Gator, it was after about a year of ownership, maybe a year and a half. And basically, I think we had somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 hours on the machine. Now we're racked up to about 500 hours. I've been using it around the farm a whole lot. In case you don't know about our farm here, this is a 200-acre farm in north central North Carolina, set in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. I have a lot of hills, hollers, mud, rocks, hay, goats, chickens, we had some pigs, animals to take care of, and the Gator was a very essential tool to have here on the farm. I don't know how I would have done without it. That being said, how does it compare to other side-by-sides or UTVs? Well, I had the opportunity to drive the Polaris 1000. I think it's called the XP 1000. I also had the opportunity to drive the Kubota RTV, I believe is what it's called. And I looked at the Bobcat, which is basically a Polaris. And some of you gear guys might not agree, but you go ride a Polaris and then you go look at the Bobcat machine and you'll see two almost identical machines. I don't know if the engines are the same, but they're just about identical. I also looked at the Honda, I think it's called the Pioneer. It's the 1000 UTV, which is absolutely not what I needed on the farm. I also had the opportunity to look at the Kawasaki Mule, and we went and looked at the Mahindra brand UTV. We're not talking about a UTV for riding around on trails. We're talking about a UTV for working on your farm, and something you could use to ride around on trails. We're talking about something that's going to be for fun. About 2% of its life and about 98% of its life is going to be for this, for taking care of the farm, for hauling hay bales, for hauling fertilizer and lime, feed, stuff like that. Personnel, things that you need. I'll give you a few thoughts here on what I think needs to be improved on the Gator. After having driven the other machines, these things are minor nuances as compared to the major things that I didn't find very attractive about the other machines. So let's take you around the Gator. I'll show you a few things that I like, a few things that I don't like, a few upgrades that I made to make the Gator more user-friendly, things that you might want to do if you buy a Gator, and a little bit of food for thought. Let's talk about options and features. We got the optional brush guard on the front here, and there are brush guards on the side of the front fenders, but we didn't get them on the back, on the tailgate area, or on the bed area, and we really didn't need them. This is an upgrade. The lights on this vehicle are okay. I'm going to say okay if you want to see 30 feet in front of you. But if you're working on a large piece of land, you need more light. I upgraded and put a light bar on the front of this thing. I'll post a link down below to the light bar. You can pick it up on Amazon. So the lighting system on this machine from the factory was substandard in my opinion. Now, is that a deal breaker? No, I don't think so. I upgraded the lights. I spent probably $100 to $150 with some switches, new lights. I put work lights on the front, work lights on the back so that I could work out of the tailgate in the dark, which you oftentimes find yourself doing in a farm situation. You got to get the job done. Sometimes it's after dark and sometimes you need a lot of light. Right now, this thing, bam, lights it up like Christmas morning for a little bit of an upgrade cost. This lighting upgrade was much, much cheaper than I would have paid from the John Deere dealership. Let's talk wheels, tires, and maneuverability. Guys, this thing will get stuck, okay? I just want to let you know, it will get stuck. It has an adjustable suspension on it. The tires are aggressive. I was worried about these tires, how aggressive they are. I'll bring the camera in closer here in a second. But I was worried about how aggressive they would be, whether they would tear my yard up, or my fields, or my pastures. Nope, they don't tear it up. They do a very good job. Here's a close-up shot of the tire tread, and this is after 500 hours. That's the front, and that's the rear right there, okay? We chose to get the optional high back seats, and they're in good shape. They held up really good so far. Show you one feature of the Gator that I don't like. This thing right here. This rod constantly slips out. I will say that Polaris has done a better job with compartment and storage in their vehicle. Another part for storage, there's storage underneath this hood right here, and this opens kind of. So you have to pull this pin and that pin, fold this apparatus forward, and then you can access the hood. Not ideal for a real world situation if you've got the brush guard on. Let's talk about fuel. Okay, we'll open her up here. Down in there is plenty of fuel. My fuel gauge is absolutely empty. It's totally empty. Let's talk about the clock. For lack of better terms, the clock sucks. The clock will not keep good time. It says it's 1:56. This clock, over a month's period of time, will lose or gain 15 minutes. John Deere, I think you can do a little bit better job with the electronics. I'm pretty sure you can. Okay, let's talk about payload. 1,500 pounds towing, 1,500 pound weight capacity in the machine. Now, there's a reason why I have this thing loaded down with 600 pounds of fertilizer and lime right now. Let me show you. 600 pounds stresses this machine. Okay, guys? Now, would you expect the suspension to be sagging a bit with 600 pounds of weight in the back of this machine? Absolutely. If I had this amount of weight in the back of that Polaris machine, it would really be sagging. When I did a quick review on the Polaris machine, I had a whole lot of people that like Polaris that told me, well, just crank up your suspension, just adjust your suspension. Well, this is the factory setting on the suspension here, and it's handling the weight just fine. The Polaris machine was kind of saggy. Now, when I use a Kubota machine, I know it would handle this weight. It doesn't droop, it doesn't sag. It is more of a construction type machine. I used a little diesel Kubota. If I have to buy a new one of these, I'll buy a diesel. I didn't venture into loading up the Mahindra machine. I didn't even drive it around, so I can't tell you a whole lot about that machine. But I can tell you the Honda machine has a roll bar that goes all the way back here. And it has gadgets, it has flip-up seats, so you can convert the Honda machine from a 2-seater into, I believe, a 5 or 4-seater by flipping up different portions of the bed. That's not what I want. I don't want a roll bar that extends all the way out here and drops off. I can't put a hay bale in the back of it. I can't put a round bale in the back of it to go feed my goats or my cows, which immediately strikes the Honda from the list. The Kawasaki Mule looked like a very tough machine. It's set up higher. It looked tough. It looked very robust. And when we go to buy a new machine, we'll look at the Kawasaki Mule. We'll also look at the Kubota. We won't look at Polaris, and we won't look at Honda. Now, if there are any other brands that you guys might recommend, please leave a comment down below. If there's something you're happy with or something you're not happy with about your Gator, please let me know. I've experienced several things with my Gator that have given me trouble. Axles. So I'm on my 3rd axle. I broke a sway bar in the rear. I've been through 1 belt and 1 clutch. And the belt and the clutch issue was partly my fault and partly my dealer's fault. My dealer told me, take this machine and use it. Use it, you cannot hurt it, you won't hurt anything with it. I immediately bought the machine and started using it on the farm. I had some logs cut down out here. They were less than 1,500 pounds, so I towed them right up this dirt road with it. I brought the belt and the clutch up in it, doing stupid stuff. So when I did my first review of the John Deere Gator 825i, I didn't have very much nice to say about it. I called it an overpowered golf cart. Now that I've driven the competition, this is not an overpowered golf cart. This is a good piece of farm machinery. So I'll tell you my top 3 complaints on the Gator. Complaint number 1, I keep breaking axles. I'm not sure if I'm working it too hard or what I'm doing, but I keep breaking axles. And basically the axle joint itself is what's breaking. I don't know if it's a substandard product or a substandard part, but I keep breaking axles. Number 2, the exhaust was extremely loud. We had to put a Gator silencer on there to silence the Gator, and basically it's an extension of your muffler to make your Gator a little bit more quiet. We go hunting, we ride around the farm, and I just didn't want to hear that bah! All the time, and that's loud. It's annoying. I don't want to hear it. I want to be able to put around here on the farm. I'm not going wide open. I'm not ripping it up through the trails in West Virginia. I'm going through my farm, and I don't want to have to wear earplugs to ride a Gator. So there was a simple solution, and all these little lighting solutions and muffler solutions are things that I had to figure out on my own. If you decide to buy this piece of equipment, you'll know what you can do. The 3rd and final issue that I have with the Gator is I didn't buy the right Gator. I should have bought the 4-seater Gator, okay? When we first bought the farm, we cut trails all over the place, and this thing was fun. We were riding around. Now that we've cleared out some land and we've got wide open spaces, and we use this mainly for farming and not for fun, I wish I could haul more people on it. I also wish that I would have got the 4-seater and I would have got the diesel model. The diesel model doesn't go quite as fast, it doesn't have quite as much horsepower, it has plenty of torque, same towing capacity, which is based upon the frame, and same weight capacity, but I think the diesel model would have suited my needs here on the farm a little bit better, where this one would suit your needs on the farm and on the trail. I'm not really using it on the trail, I'm using it on the farm. So most of the video reviews that you see of a UTV are not farming. Most of the video reviews you see are riding through rough terrain or going over rocks or splashing through creeks. Well, we'll be riding over rough terrain, going over rocks, splashing through creeks with a 1,000-pound hay bale in the back of it, and that's what matters. Will it take it? Yes. Will I buy another Gator? Yes. Will I buy a diesel 4-seater next time? Yes. When it comes down to it, you want to be able to take friends and family and kids and ride them around and show them the farm without tearing the grass up. This thing does a great job. So after 3 years of use and 500 hours on this machine, this is the most frequently used piece of machinery on my farm, and I'm happy with it. Is it without its quirks and nuances? Did it need better lighting? Yes. It needed a few things. It needed a few touch-ups, a few customizations. But am I happy with my Gator? Absolutely. After 3 years of ownership, would I buy another Gator? I sure would. Folks, thanks a lot for watching my review today. I wanted to give you a no BS review of this Gator, what it does, the machine that it is, and whether it's a good addition to your farm. Absolutely, hands down, I could not do what I do from day to day without this piece of machinery. It's used every single day, driven every single day, started at least 10 times a day, and it hasn't let me down. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching the Stoney Ridge Farm today. If you're not already subscribed, click that subscribe button, click that like button, and click that little bell down there. It'll notify you when I post a new video. We're basically taking this 200-acre farm that was old and abandoned, and we're clearing land, and we're planting pasture, and we're gonna have cows, and we're gonna have goats, and we're gonna have a good working farm. If you wanna come and learn what real farming's all about, subscribe to Stoney Ridge Farm and click that little bell. It'll notify you when I get a new video. Thanks a lot. Leave me some comments if you have anything else to add. I appreciate it. Come on back and see me.
Well, come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge.